Yes. My name is Elizabeth Alert. I am the Behavioral, Speech, and Occupational Therapist at M.E.T Academy. M.E.T Academy, it's a special needs school and a therapy center that caters for children with disabilities, not just autism alone, but we cater for all disabilities and we offer therapy service for such individuals.
At Mid-Pride Academy, I'm the currently serving as the admin manager. Um, we just like Ms. Alert mentioned, we cater for persons with all disabilities, not just on autism. But as it's Autism Awareness Month, the focus is on autism and the cause, well, not the causes, but the ways in which we can assist persons that has autism. It also deals with ways that we can uh, diagnose persons that we think that, okay, well, I think my child is struggling with autism. So that's the focus. But like Mr. Lart mentioned, we also have other disabilities that the school deals with as well.
Okay. Autism is a neurodevelopmental disorder, and the signs range from you can see a child who is on the spectrum of autism. They would have lack of communication, sensory sensitivity. Where it comes to social interaction, you would find that they would not have social interaction. You wouldn't find them playing with other children, or you would find them choose to play by themselves or isolate themselves. Or you would also find them lining things up. It could be in a straight line or up and down. They would have repetitive behaviors, flopping of their hands, rocking back and forth, walking on their toes. The science for autism, and this is where it's very technical when you're diagnosing a child with autism, because even though you're seeing some of these signs, the child is displaying some of these signs, they're still where the behavioral therapist, the speech and the OT would step into, really watch the pattern of behaviors to actually say that the child is really on the spectrum of autism. Yes. Yes, sorry about that. Yes, so autism, when a child is diagnosed, there are three levels. There's level one, level two, and level three. It's all with the severity of it. Level three, it's very severe. Level two, it's mild and moderate. Level one, it's very moderate or very low on the spectrum, as many persons would say. Um, but yes, they do come in different stages. As I did mention, level one, level two, and level three. And upon diagnosis, when a child is being diagnosed or being assessed, then upon that diagnosis or evaluation, the person that is conducting that evaluation, they would, after observing that child or complete that those tests, then it would be recorded if the child is basically on level three, level two, or level one on the spectrum. Yes. Okay, so a child at level one, they would need a support in terms of supporting even carrying out basic functions or activities. They would need, but not full on support that you really need to, there be some form of guidance. The same thing with when it comes to level two, the child would need more support than level one. And with level three, they need full support in whatever area or whatever task has to be done. Um, and this is because, as I said, is the severity of the disability. Right, when a child is diagnosed, with depends on the level, but it's basically the support that they would need. A child with level three, as I mentioned, needs more support. Level two, they need support, but then also at level one, where the support is not as much as a level three and a level two. Okay, well, there's more than one ways in order to communicate, and let's break. I can break this down for you. Um, for instance, a newborn baby. The baby basically communicate to you. If the baby is crying, you either know the child is hungry, the child needs to be changed. It's a form of communication because the child cannot talk as yet. So a child that is on the spectrum, even though they are nonverbal, they can still communicate to you the same way as that infant communicate. They do so by pointing, pulling at you to show you what you want, what they want. So, but for us, when we are going to do communication, uh, the school at M.E.T Academy, we have devising communication books. There is an iPad program where we teach a child to navigate as well to in order for us to teach them how to communicate to us or to have functional language where the communication book would come in for that child, and that all of that works along with the speech therapy in order for us to get communication. But even if a child is nonverbal, and let me make this point clear, is that even not all children that are on the spectrum are nonverbal. Some are verbal, some do not have functional language. And when I say functional language, I'm speaking about having a conversation like what we are doing right now, the back and forth conversation. And then some of them, some of these students, they are nonverbal, and this is where now the communication devices we step in with that in order to teach them how to communicate. And the speech, when we're doing speech therapy, it's also for those who do not have functional language, where we can actually work on those areas. But overall, there are ways to communicate with a child who is nonverbal. Well, academic can be delivered. Um, but as again, the techniques are they're different for each individual. That is how we work at M.E.T Pride Academy. So the way we present academic for one child would not be the same for a next individual, even though all of them might be on the spectrum or whatever disability that they may have or diagnosed with. So when it comes to academic, basically we work along the ministry's curriculum along with the ABA, which is the Applied Behavior Analysis. So we merge the two and we have a curriculum for special needs students. That means that whatever is being taught within the regular school system for the typically developing child is being taught to the students at M.E.T Pride Academy. Now, how do we deliver these academics to the student? Well, basically, we study that child, that individual child. It's a one-on-one. So now, when we're doing an evaluation, we check to see where the child academic as well lies. So when we're going to set work for that child, it's based on that individual child. So it's not that, okay, let's just say, for instance, a child might come and that child is in grade 1 or should be in grade 1. And then after evaluation, we realize that this child really needs to build his or her foundation. And they're in year 1 or year 2, which is the nursery level. Then we realize setting the academic, we have to bring them back to set a proper foundation and start building them from year 1, year 2 work before we can actually put them where they should be. And this is, as I said, this is a one-on-one. So when it comes to even creating the source or the materials for us to carry out the academic, again, it's just created for that specific child and not for all the students, and everyone have to follow along, because what it is that we find that they learn differently, they have strong points and they have weak areas, and we try to fill or build these areas in and try to fill in the gaps that they would come with, and that's how we have to work with them. Well, it has been a wonderful experience knowing the way that how you have impacted someone's life and to see them make a change. The amount of work that you actually put in to get that, you even forget about that, to see the growth or to see that change. Um, we have worked with so many children, and when we see them develop in certain areas that we have been working for months or for years, that gives us so much joy to actually know that, you know what, I actually taught this person, and we can actually have this person or this child learn so much, something that they could not have done before. So the experience of that, it is wonderful. Yes, they're engaged in other activities otherwise from tabletop work. One of them that we recently had for the last term, the our students got to do, and this is according to we separate them in their levels, where they got to do golfing. Uh, they also went out to the gardens to do view different animals and so forth. And most of them, what we do too, we sensitize them at school before they actually go to the outing. So we prepare them for what is about to happen the week before it happened. So when it comes to the activity, it's not just about You have to come to school. You have to sit and to learn, as I said, tabletop work, just schoolwork, just books and so forth. No, the children in general, whether special needs or the typically developing child, they learn a lot from their environment. So where it comes to curricular activity, we take them out, and every term, this is something that we schedule with the what is for the curriculum for the term, that we have this in place in terms of take them on outings and so forth. And that, but that is what we did for the last term for our students.
Yeah. Yeah. No, not a question. Yeah, a comment. No, you asked the question, how it was, or how it was the experience like dealing with children that are diagnosed with autism, right? I just like to share my experience. Well, not my experience, but you know, I've been around. Well, Miss Elizabeth has a school, and well, we have the school, and she does most of the work with the kids, right? So that's what she majors in. But one thing I like, and that's the thing about it, they're the kids that at the school, they're amazing in their own ways, as in, they have such great abilities, as in, and I'm looking for the right word to describe it, I'm not finding it. There's a child that is with us for some time now. She loves puzzles. This is just an experience, She loves puzzles. Um, if she has her work to do, she has a bit of issue doing her work. You want her to finish her work, say, okay, you're going to do a puzzle when you finish, right? You could give her, let's just say, a 30-piece puzzle, a 50-piece puzzle, and you look at her, Kiana, you would see the speed at which she assembles this puzzle. She would break it up and then she would put it back together. I was watching her, Miss Elizabeth was right there. So I was like, let me try to do it. Right. So I collected it from her. She's looking at me. I'm fitting it up. I'm putting one piece wrong, one piece. If you see the look that I got, she was like, like, just give it back to me. And the thing is, she doesn't miss a step. She knows where each piece is. She puts it, okay, this piece here. She doesn't like try to fit and then move it. And that is something amazing to watch. Honestly, it's something amazing to watch. Yeah. So, um, they would say, well, okay, well, my child has autism, but it's these kids, although they don't develop, okay, or they don't communicate, normal, as okay, that you would want them to, or you would say, well, okay, good, I can talk to you and you respond to me. They have their own unique ways in communicating. That's amazing. They also have their own unique abilities. That is just amazing. And it to me, you have to experience it to know, yeah, to understand what it I'm saying. I'm just just saying.
Well, for one thing, I know we did mention about the different levels of autism, and I know sometimes as parents, it's very difficult. I sit with so many parents in the office, and to just to really take in what that knowing that my child have a disability, whether it's autism or so forth. Just knowing that it's they feel as how parents would explain to me that there is no hope. One thing I want to assure person there is hope that your child, the first thing you have to do is to accept and actually to realize that there's so much that your child can do. And one thing that we don't ever want to pair our each another individual with the next, in terms of saying, oh well, you know what, my sister's child or my brother's child can do this and mine can't. No, they are gifted in the ability of what they can do, and it's just for us as individuals is to tapping on the skills that they have and to strengthen them. So where it is that you might feel that, you know what, I need to accept my child and to let's see how best I can help uh, my child to develop in the area that they're very good in. This is what, as parents, as teachers, as individual in general. It doesn't speak only to parents because it speaks to all individual, because sometimes you might be out and you see a child and the child might displaying some aberrant behaviors, and the common thing is person would say that child is spoiled or that child doesn't have behavior. But then we need to educate ourselves in terms of, you know what, let me see or let me see what or see how best we can help that individual, and not just put um, to say these things in terms of the child is spoiled or the child has bad behavior, but really as well to accept that child. And also, as I said, to parents in general and family members, is try your best to strengthen the areas or to seek help. Even if you don't know how to, seek help in how to provide the assistance for that child. Yes. Well, what it is that we do, because and that's a very good question too, and I'm glad you brought that up, Keon. Um, we have training for parents, because what can happen, and this is a mistake that we find that happens a lot. Uh, when even when it comes to academic, you might try to teach that child the way a typical child would learn, and you would make persons would make who are not trained within the field would make many mistakes in that area. And what tends to happen is that you even make the work harder for the trained person because you're doing it incorrect. Now, where it is when we train our parents how to go about, um, it could be dealing with academic, it could be basic things that you do every day, functional things that you do every day with your child. If there's guidelines and training for that parent would actually deliver to that child and better than just, or a better approach. So where it is that we for the parents knowledge of it, we train our parents, we talk to our parents, and then sometimes it can be so overwhelming at times for them, and this is where now we would sit and not just only training but listen to them, sometimes just talk it out, and then let's come up with a strategy in order how to help that parent and to help that student. So there is training as well provided for all our parents.
Yes. Yeah, just elaborate on the training part that Ms. Lisbeth was talking about. Um, when it comes to dealing with the kids, right, or the parents dealing with the children, she's basically she's basically available 24 hours. I don't want to say that to, with him, but it's true. I would have been there, and I would have heard her receive a call any time of the night, sometimes on the weekends, it might be a holiday. If the parents need help, she's always there to be of assistance. If you, okay, the child, my child, I'm trying to get her to do this, but she's not doing it. I'm trying to get him to do this, but he's not doing it. Well, what should I do, miss? Or what you think? What you think? She's always there, just like she said. She's, if they have a problem, if they need help with something, you can come. They can come into the office. Miss, I need assistance with this. What do you think? Do you think I should continue doing this, or is there not a way that I can do this? Is there a better way that I can get better results? So like she said, there's always her door is always open and always willing to assist in any way that the parent may need. So that is another you know area that she helps out with.
Well, the first thing that if when we have to assess the child, the very first thing someone has to, or the individual have to do, we have to do an interview. Now, basically, that interview is we meet with the parent or the guardian of the child, and you have to walk with the child because one of our staff would also do some observation with the child as well whilst we conduct the interview with the parents. We will find out background information about the child, what are some of the challenges the parents would face and so with the child. Now after that interview, then we would do the evaluation, and that is a process that takes a whole 1 week. And this is where you don't break the days, so that's consecutive each day for us to run that evaluation with the child. And that is more than one task, or we put before or work with the child along with observation as well, in order to carry out that assessment or evaluation with that individual. But as I said, it's a very technical procedure that you have to do. This is not something that you have to take blood tests, run scans, or no, it's nothing of the sort. And this is where too, when we talk about autism and a lot of developmental disabilities, a lot has to do because you don't see a facial feature to this disability. So I can say, oh look, that person have autism. No, it's you, and this is where I mentioned more than one qualified person within the field that can do this diagnosis, because a lot of it has to do with you doing the behavior, studying the behavior pattern of that individual. And this is where you have the behavioral therapist, the speech, the OT, checking all their when it comes to their language, when it comes to their fine motor, gross motor, handwriting skills. All of these things are being tested and checked when we even doing evaluation. So as I mentioned, this is not something that if you go to a medical facility and you want to find out to do a regular checkup or anything, this is not something that you just go to say, I have to do a scan, I have to do an x-ray. No, it is, as I said, more than one individual come together to do the assessment. It's basically a team that come together to do that assessment and evaluation, where they check more than one in more than one area. And as I said, you study the child. That is being done on the child, and also not basically on the interview that has to be conducted before the evaluation. We conduct it on the child themselves.
One just another just to add, the thing about it that okay, the interview, although they may be observing the child, right? And they did Miss Elizabeth or another staff, they will be getting the relevant information from the parent, right? The only way that a child is diagnosed, or they say that, okay, well, this child is struggling, or this child has autism, is after the evaluation is done, which means that just that interview, you can't tell that, okay, good, this child has autism. They might have some of the signs, right? That does not necessarily mean that, they're autistic. Also, at the end of the evaluation, that would tell you, okay, what part of the spectrum the child is on. And also, that would also help you to outline, or to start getting up in your mind, and also, getting up material uh, to start teaching that child, because, as she mentioned, each child has a different way how they would receive information, or they would process information. So once with that evaluation, you're looking to see, okay, this child learns better when you present information this way. So whatever information, whatever plan that I have to teach this child, this is how I have to do it. So that's the importance of the evaluation after the interview. That's the importance of this.
Okay, Met Pride Academy. It's in W Freeman Street East for Penitence. That is just behind the government school, Leanna Nursery School. Just behind that nursery school, there's a three-story green and white building. It has a sign there, and that is where Met Pride Academy is located. You can also find the location on Google Map. You just type in Met Pride Academy, and they will point you or pin you straight to the location. Okay, well, we work with children who are Down syndrome, who have dyslexia, who are um, who are slow learners, CP, Rett syndrome, ADHD, ADD. So as I said in the starting of our interview, we cater for all disability because some children, and this is physical and developmental disability. And if you're not sure on where your child lies, again, this is where you can call or you can come into us where we can guide you. Because as well, we have some students that are in the regular school setting, but they are very slow learners. Now, again, those students can still come to us because basically special need is not basically looking for a physical, as I said, disability. Once that child need that extra help, you fall under a special needs child because you need extra assistance. Okay, so when it comes to sensory, if the child is having difficulty with sensory issue, because most of them, where the child, when they're having it, it all depends on what is the sensory is that they're having, the overload that they're having. So we have to really check to see what is it. We can't just say the child is having sensory. Sometimes children have sensory to noise. Um, where loud noise, if something is happening and they want to, we have to figure out a way now how to ease that child within, because sometimes it creates aberrant behavior within the child, screaming, crying, running. Now if we realize this, let's just say it's a sensory to noise, we have the head canceling sound canceling headsets where we would put on that child. Also we would, when it comes to other sensory issues with that child that we need to, let's just say the child have as I said, for one, for the noise, let's just say the child has or any other area in terms of it, we have to find out what it is, what is causing the sensory, what is causing the behavior to happen in that area, and where it is that we can do a plan to address those sensory issues with that child. And then also, not just that, we also teach them how to communicate to us in a different way to make their needs know when something is happening with that child. Go back to the last part, Kiana. I didn't hear that. Okay, so most persons, when it comes to autism, or and this doesn't go for autism because I heard it for more than one disability as well. When a child is displaying certain aberrant behaviors, as I mentioned, I think I didn't. Yes, I did mention it in one day. Say that okay, that child is bad. That child is doesn't have, or they spoil when they're displaying these behaviors. Or a common thing that many persons would use, and this is something I haven't heard it in a while, but I heard it when I was studying at the time. They would mention a person would use the word as the child is retarded, and I show most person here hear those words. Or if they don't say retarded, they will say they are crazy, and all these things that they will come about. Or that child, something is wrong with them. And these things are not true. It's that they process things differently, they learn differently. And again, this is where we just have to tapping on the strengths of those children. And even if it's the weakness, the weak areas, and where we can work with that child. So when it comes not just only to autism and disability in general, many persons think or they believe that they cannot contribute to society, or the child cannot learn or develop. And that is totally not true. They can. I have seen it. I have worked with them, and we see changes happen. And back again, even when it comes to the level of the child's disability, change can happen for that child. So where it is that persons think they cannot contribute, whether autism or not, they can.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I don't want to ask a question. I would like to make a comment. Well, my son has been going to M.E.T Academy since last year, and he had problem with speaking, with socializing. He will normally speak at home with stranger, but it's something with school environment. He don't speak, but when he come home from school, he will say everything that he did. He will respond to everything that he did. He will tell me. So before school closed, I know that he have this communication problem. So before school closed, Miss Elizabeth sent me 2 videos that how MTS start to speak. And I was very happy. So If parents out there,
Yeah. Yes, no problem. I just wanted to say, when you ask the question, persons, what is some of the misconceptions about autism or about any disability, as a matter of fact. To me, the thing is that a lot of persons would think that, okay, the child would not have an opportunity to learn. They would not have an opportunity to contribute to society. They may be, they may be in need of help all their life, as in, the parent would need to be assisting them in every area. And the thing is, with the adequate help, or with the early diagnosis and evaluation and diagnosis, you can put things in place, so that the child has all the opportunities that they need, all the help that they need, all the support that they need in order to be the best that they can be. Right? You understand that it's going to be challenging, because of the way that they may be communicating, or they may not be able to communicate. Um, Ways that other persons would usually do, but they have an opportunity, or there is help. There is a way that they can strive and achieve their full potential, or to be the best that they can be, like I mentioned. So that is my final take on the teachers at Met Pride Academy. They would go above and beyond in order to make sure that they can get the best out of the child, and that they can do the best that they can do. As in, if the child cannot do this, well then, it's because they can't do it. The teachers will do their best to make sure that happens.
Yes, well, added to what Marta said, we have a very supportive parents team. Our teachers really put forth a lot of effort and work for us to actually do what it is that we do. I feel very much appreciated by my parents for all the remarks and all the wonderful things that they would say to us. It really builds us up in the end of it all that they do. And as I said, they're very supportive. We work together as basically like a family. We work really for the benefit of our students. So we are very happy to educate at the end of it, for programs like this to educate our general public and for all the parents out there. And we even thank you as well too. For having this session here with us. Overall, we're very pleased and we're very happy.
Okay, yeah.